Yo, what's going on? It's Votonomous here, and I'm back with another video. Before we get started, I have a bet going on that if I hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of August, I will dress up as Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus in one live stream and one YouTube video. So, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. You have until September 1st, 12 a.m. And like the video, hype it up. I don't know how the hype thing works, but hype up the video. It'll try to boost it to other people. And comment down below telling me what you think about Bendy and the Dark Revival. So, we're going to get into it. I'm going to be talking about Bendy and the Dark Revival. So, we're going to start out with the gameplay. So, the gameplay is a little bit better than the first games. The combat system is a smidge better, and I'll tell you why. You're running around a lot faster than in the first game. So, the sprint is faster. You also have a stamina bar, which is nice. I actually appreciate that, but you are running faster in this game than in the first game. You're also swinging your weapon a lot faster in this game than you did in the first game. So those two factors together actually make the combat system better than the first game. However, it is still really frustrating and could be a lot better if they had a parry system. I'm going to hope to God that the next video game that they do, there's a parry system, because Lord knows they need it so bad. With that being said, there were other parts of the gameplay that I actually thought were a lot better than the first game, and one of the biggest ones is Bendy himself. So in the first game, Bendy meant nothing, and his chases were very lame and boring, and when you die, it does nothing. There's no consequence. In this game, the Ink Demon is actually kind of terrifying. So what ends up happening is there's more of an emergency. There's more of a fright to him being there and after you. The screen will change drastically, and there's gonna be like almost like a countdown with this soundtrack that goes on. And you have to hide, and if you don't hide, he will instantly get you, and you will die, and you actually respawn in the last time your game autosaved. So that is a lot better than how Bendy worked beforehand in the first game. So, total upgrade there. As far as other gameplay mechanics go, something that I really didn't like was sometimes this game was very bipolar. So there'd be times where the game holds your hand completely and is like, here's a marker telling you where you need to go next. Other times, the game would give you an objective in your objective list. If you pause the game, you'll see your objective. And I actually don't mind that at all. I don't need to be told where exactly to go, right? As long as you just give me an objective, I'll figure it out. So just point me in the right direction, I'll figure it out, right? I don't need to be told exactly where to go, what to do, right? And then there's other times where the game actually says, go fuck yourself. We're not telling you anything. You're going to be in this environment, and you have to just walk around and figure out what you're supposed to be doing next. There was one part that was really fucking annoying, and it had to do with a music box. I didn't even know I had to find a music box. I didn't know I had to press the music box. This game is very yellow. It looks kind of samey, so if there was like a better indicator of what I needed to do in that case, I would have saved probably 20 minutes. I'm not even joking. I think it took me like 20 to 30 minutes to find the music box and to understand I needed to even grab the music box. So, and that's just one example. There was another example in, I think, Chapter 3, where the game just said, go fuck yourself, figure it out. And I just don't like that. You don't need to hold my hand. You don't need to give me a marker telling me where to go. You just need to tell me what's my main objective here. You know what I mean? So that was kind of annoying, and I don't really appreciate that. Otherwise, most of the gameplay was an upgrade from the last game. Not by much, with especially the combat system. There was also mentioned that there was a crafting system. I ignored it. It was just way too hard to find any of the materials to craft, to upgrade your weapon, anything like that. So I gave up. I didn't even bother. So it's that system, and I beat the game without it. I barely upgraded my weapon at all whatsoever, so the whole upgrade system just meant nothing. So that's about it for the gameplay. All right, let's talk about bugs since I talked about bugs in the last one. There were almost no bugs in this game. There was only one bug that I ran into, and that was, I think one of the keepers got stuck on something, and then they just kind of sat there. That was it. And honestly, as far as bugs go, I'll take it, especially compared to the last game, where my whole game's save file got, like, corrupted, which was really fucking obnoxious. So, when it comes to bugs in this game, it wasn't that bad, honestly. I'll take it. It was an upgrade. So good job on that. All right, let's move on to talking about the characters in this game. This game was handled so much better with the characters than the first game. The first game had huge favoritism towards like Alice and Boris. And Boris is not really in this game, but Alice is still in this game, which I do appreciate. They don't just say fuck you to Alice, right? A new name being Allison, actually. There's the evil Alice, and she actually does make a return, and then there's Allison. And she is still in this game, and I feel like they do her justice. They didn't really need to tell us much more in this game because they told us everything they needed to tell us about Alice in the first game. So it was nice to have her there, and I'm just glad they didn't forget about her. Audrey is the main character in this game, and she is really cool. Her story is really cool. I'll talk a bit more about that in the story segment, but there are plot twists that involve her that actually are really cool. I felt like she was written very well, and she had a lot to say during the game as well, so it was actually pretty fun to play as her. I thought she was a good protagonist. Wilson, I knew he was evil from the jump. They had this moment where they tried to trick you and say, like, well, maybe he's actually good. No, I didn't fall for that at all. I kind of just knew he was going to be a piece of shit. But he was a pretty good antagonist overall, even though he was, like, overly creepy and just, like, you knew he was a bad guy. I felt like he was kind of cool. And his boss fight at the end was also pretty cool. I didn't really talk about the boss fights in the gameplay portion because I just didn't think they were that riveting. I thought they were okay overall. I know I probably should have said that there. But there were some of them were a lot more impressive than others. I'll just say that much. But I thought his boss fight was kind of cool, and the character that he ends up being is the design was a little bit creepy as well. So I thought that it was neat. And Bendy got the biggest glow up, the biggest upgrade. In the first game, he was a nothing burger character. Had zero aura. There was nothing good about him. I thought he was completely boring. He was just there. In this game, he is a genuine character with voice lines, a way better design, and they gave him like a cartoony like baby Bendy version, like his genuine Bendy design for when he's like trapped. Because if you don't know, I'll talk a little bit more about it in the story portion. He ends up getting like trapped in that body, the ink demon, so he can't be, you know, killing people. That was the whole goal, was to trap him. So he's in this like original Bendy form, and it does look really cool, and he actually does accompany you in certain spots of the game. I wish there was honestly more of that, because I feel like there was only like 2 or 3 segments of that. I could have done like maybe 2 more segments of that, because it was really cool to see him and interact with him. So Bendy, just complete upgrade, really fun. The voice actor who did him did a very good job. The voice was really cool. Overall, just really cool. They did a good job with Bendy. Thank God. Boris was doing his own thing in a different video game, so he wasn't really in this one too much, which is a bit unfortunate, but you know what? We did have a lot of Boris in the first game, so it's whatever. There's 2 more people I wanted to talk about. So Joey Drew actually got a lot of time in this game. You got to learn a lot about Joey Drew, and I thought that was kind of cool. So they did his character justice because they gave him a lot, and then they actually did a lot of justice for Henry as well, because you actually get to see his face and you get to learn a lot more about him as well. So I actually thought that was cool as well. I feel like they did a very good job with their characters. The first game was very questionable with how they handled certain characters. This game did a very good job with almost every single character that was in the game. I say almost because I don't know if I'm blanking on anybody at the moment, but they did a really cool job with that, and I feel like it was good. I liked all the characters. I thought that they were all fun to listen to, pretty much. So that was neat. Yeah, good job. Now we're going to talk about the story. The story overall, there's like, I don't even know where to begin. You're playing as Audrey. Wilson ends up trying to sacrifice you. He inks you up. You get inked up. He gets inked up. And that's how you get into this cycle to begin with. His whole goal is he wants to kill you so that you can become the what was the boss at the end of the game to fight Bendy. So he was going to just sacrifice your soul to become that character. That was his main motive. Not too bad of a motive at all, I guess. It was pretty cool. And we actually get to find out how the ink machine works and what the cycle was, and we end up finding from the first game, and we end up finding out that the Henry that we played as was fake. He was a fake Henry, and he oh my god, he was made for that, like, story that was being written, because Joey Drew fucking hated Henry, and he wanted to make him suffer, so he made basically a cartoon, I guess you could say, that just continuously goes on forever and ever, and that's basically what you're playing. That's my understanding of it. Audrey ends up being in this same cycle, and you try to break that cycle again, because you end up breaking the cycle as Henry in the first game, and he ends up being in, like, some type of fucking jail by the keepers for being a cycle breaker. So it made more sense in this game. Everything that happens in the first game, they tell you about it, and they tell you how it worked and why it happened and this, that, and the other, and I appreciated it, and I thought it was a lot better, and I thought the story was... It made sense. The first game story did not make any sense to me, because they did a shit job explaining anything. They did a much better job explaining what happened in the first game and what's happening now in this game. So thank fucking God. Also, there were plot twists with Audrey that I actually thought were cool, because I wasn't actually expecting it, and I was like, oh shit, that's kind of crazy. Was that Audrey's actually the daughter of Joey Drew, but not even biologically. She was a daughter by, like... Joey Drew made Audrey from, like, I guess the ink machine, and she was, like, the perfect example of, like, ink to human, so she looked completely human. She was a perfect ink character, I guess, that was brought to life. So everything that basically this game is, this franchise is, where the ink machine is making these characters, they're trying to bring these characters to life, like Bendy and Boris and all this. Audrey was actually a perfected version of that, because she was genuinely human. So I thought that was really cool. That was a cool plot twist. Overall, I thought the story was good. I thought the antagonist was good. I thought the protagonist was good. And I thought that everything was explained very well. I had a much better time in this game than I did in the first game. So, thank fucking God. Alright, we're going to get into my final rating here for this game. Look, everything was pretty much an upgrade. Even the gameplay was an upgrade, not by much. I still didn't really enjoy playing the game itself. There was a lot of times the game pissed me off, both with the moments where it was like, go fuck yourself, figure things out, and also the combat just still wasn't even that great. It was more bearable in this game than it was in the first game, but still, it wasn't that fun. But everything else was an upgrade. Everything else. And I loved it. I thought it was great. So because of that, the first game I gave like a 2 out of 5. It was a C tier. This game, with how much they upgraded, it's still not perfect. Can't give it an S tier, can't give it a 5, but I will confidently give this a 4 out of 5. This is an A tier game. They really stepped it up. This game is doing a lot of heavy lifting for the Bendy franchise at the moment for me, and hopefully the third game is even better, and they fix the gameplay, and they make it more fun. Again, please, please, please add a parry system, and the combat will be a lot less egregious. So... that's my rating for the game. That's my review. What did you think of Bendy and the Dark Revival? Let me know in the comments below. Again, make sure you subscribe. If I hit 2K, I will be dressing up as Pomni for a live stream and a video. So make sure you subscribe. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.